What is that one thing about you that people assume, but it's totally wrong? Tell me. So, for me, it's about the way people perceive me, my personality. I don't know. So, over time, I've come to realize that I would say people have wrong impression about my expression, especially my facial expression when I'm not smiling. People feel I have that resting beach face, and especially when I'm not smiling and I'm walking. Or I don't know how to explain it, but they just feel I have this arrogant thing around me. You understand? People feel I'm arrogant. People feel I'm snobbish. People feel I'm proud. I don't know, all that negative thing that comes with look and appearance and all about their opinion, you know. But I don't know, what am I supposed to do about that? I didn't create myself like this. Yeah, I'm smiling. This is my smiling face. If I'm not smiling, how do I look? Okay. Should I bone my face? I'm not smiling. Anyway, most often people judge the book by the cover, and I feel it's not right. It limits people, it limits relationship, and eventually it limits our ability to connect and make greater things in life, because you just see somebody for the first time and you just assume that person, is a certain way because of the way the person looks. And sometimes that person might even be, one of the best people you could roll with. But just because you've chosen to judge by the look and all that, it just creates that breach, that boundary. And it might take donkey years. That is if it will happen eventually, though. I mean, a friend of mine, my very close friend when I was younger, after about a year of us knowing each other, I mean, just an acquaintance as of then, for whatever reason, we became closer, and we became best friends. I'm saying as far back then, I was younger when we wrote our GC together, went to decoration class together, event decoration. Then I was into event management and all that. Even went to fashion school together. Can you beat that? And it took years for her to come out to say, Mary, actually, I wouldn't have ever thought that would be close. And I'm like, where is that coming from? So, well, the first time she saw me, she just felt I was a bitch. So she didn't like me. She didn't like she didn't just, she not just green my own. But you see, as God will have it, I'm one of the best things that ever happened in her life. I'm not pride, honestly speaking. As in, she not a joke with me, So, I mean, it tells a lot about life. The only reason I'm making this video today is because today, again, I had a same encounter. My colleague, higher colleague, I'm actually somewhere away cooking something big away from Lagos. So we got talking shortly after our flight, and she was like, the first time I met Mary, she was quite snobbish, she wasn't that, you greet her, she will not just, and I'm like, I didn't even notice you greeted me. I didn't even know. I can't even remember you and I being on that same project together, and I was trying to explain to her, and she just kept going, no, Joe, there was this attitude about you because you were playing one of the major characters then, and, you were the superstar. And I said, no, honestly speaking, I mean, it was a large cast. That was when we did our judge share. There's no way I would have remembered everybody, But while we had this conversation going, someone said something. And she said, look, you were not in her space. You were not in our world. Yes, we can be in a place together. Does not mean we are in the same world at that time. My thinking, my frame of mind, those I relate with. I mean, if something joined us together, why not? But I mean, I may not be paying attention. It's not because I want to snob you. It's just because at that moment, we are not in the same frame of mind. We are not in the same thought. You understand? And by the end of the day, you just judge me. Anyway, thank God we're on the same project together. We've done jobs before this though, and we've been vibing. But who would have thought that is the opinion she had about me? But luckily, when we met on another job, I was even the first person that came to her and your face look familiar. Even though till tomorrow, I can't associate her with the job though. But, I still she looked familiar. And we've been vibing. So the thing is, there's just everyone with that one thing that people just look at and say, hey, there's this thing about you that I don't like, or there's this way they perceive or assume you are. And most often when they get close, they might just be wrong. So tell me, What is that one thing about you that people assume, but they are wrong? Peace out, guys. Much love.